Hello everybody. Okay, so for today's hair, we're going to need a bunch of items. All these items will be listed in my Amazon storefront, which I will link in the description. So, of course, we're going to need some leave-in conditioner, detangler, bobby pins are very important. So don't forget that rubber bands. I use the one that have more elastic than actual rubber, which is better for your hair, and of course, a crochet stick. So, of course, we are going to start off with freshly washed hair. This hairstyle is actually so simple. It only took me about 3 to 4 hours, and like the 4 hour part was just like, the separation, the braiding of the hair. So essentially separate into three sections at first. And I just wanted to add some leave-in conditioner to really moisturize the back of the hair, just to keep it organized and detangled while I worked on the front sections. And of course, seal that moisture in with some oil. So this is the part. So I separated it into 8 total parts in the front. And first thing, I just kind of did it straight back, one row. So on one side, it's going to be 4 rows. On the right side, it's going to be 4 rows as well. And as you can see, I just separating it. All I'm doing right now is separating it into 1 row each. And then here, I have like 2 more rows left. And like I said, 8 rows in total. And then boom, look, all the parts are separated. So for this side, so that's 4. And then boom, all 4. So as you can see, there's 4 total rows. And then next, what we do is we're going to go into each row and part them in even squares. Of course, I'm struggling a little bit here because trying to get the perfect part, because this is the part that's going to be showing with our crisscross parts. So I really try my best to make it as clean as possible because this is the part that shows. And going into it more, so this is the part as well, the same part. I added on my gel. The gel I'm going to link is so good. As you can tell, it made it so tight and it made it so sleek. And what we're only doing, we're not braiding these individual parts. We're just using the rubber bands to separate the sections. As you can see, I already slicked down the hair a little bit. In the root part, it's a little more sleek, so it's easier to tighten. And as you can tell, I'm just wrapping the rubber band right around the part. But don't wrap it too tight, of course, for your own scalp to not be sore, and so the rubber band doesn't pop. Because of course, as I'm recording this, I have a style in my head. A few of them pop, but of course, the gel made it so tight that the hair does not move, even when a rubber band pops or not. And please be careful around those edges because we don't want to make them, come on now, we don't want to take off our edges by pulling our hair too tight. So as you can tell, I kept like adjusting it. I didn't want my hair to be pulled too tightly because I've done this style like within the past 3 weeks before. So I didn't want to like keep pulling my hair and straining it. Just to recap, as you can see, I'm just tightening it up with the rubber band. And onto the next row, the same thing. So you just part it out. The sizing's up to you. As you can see, I did kind of a medium, more so medium sized parts because I wanted to be able to easily do the crisscross style, because if they're too small, that would have been too many crisscrosses, and you'll see what I mean by crisscross a little later. But for now, I just wanted them to be like medium. Each row maybe has 2 or 3. One of them maybe has 4, but I believe it's just 2 to 3 squares per row. As you can tell here, I've done all the rows and it looks very, very sleek, but of course my hair is the poofy part. But yeah. Okay, moment of truth. We're going to start the crisscrossing. So what you're going to do is grab one from the front and then crisscross it over to the second row. As you can tell here. And I'm just rubber banding it. I'm just tying the rubber band around that piece of hair. So essentially adding that piece of hair to that other section to create the crisscross look. See how it went down? And then you grab the other one and flip it up to do the crisscross method. So grab one of the pieces and then crisscross that. And then what you're going to do I'm not sure if I showed it, but then you're going to repeat the process with that same hair in the back row. So yeah, just continuing that crisscross pattern. So the one I'm holding will eventually go down into the left on the other section. As you can tell, here's the look with everything crisscrossed. So I'm going to see there's how many rows? There's 8 rows. And they're all pushed back and their hair is ready for the next stage. See how it's all crisscrossed right there? Crisscross, crisscross, crisscross. And then now what we're going to do essentially is create cornrows from our hair. So we're going to cornrow the back of our head so we're going to go along the line of our part, and then we're going to make that part into a cornrow part. Because when we crochet out the back of our head, that's just for the hair to cover all of that cornrows we're about to create. So I thought that was a decent size. Of course, what the good rule of thumb is, like, whatever row, just create a cornrow from that row so it's easier for you to part. But I made a couple more rows from it because it was kind of really big parts I made. So I just re-moisturizing a little bit because it got a little dry, so it's easier for me to part. And then I just start cornrowing. If you don't know how to cornrow, that's another tutorial I can make, but it's actually very simple. It's just grabbing hair. But I've seen a bunch of tutorials where you don't really have to cornrow. You can even do a flat twist. This would work for this method too. Just flat twisting it. Twisting it would definitely work as an alternative if you cannot cornrow your hair. I'm just going to keep cornrowing it all the way down my head. And there's one part done. And as you're watching me corner, you can really see the crisscross method. It's up, down. And that little piece of yellow, I think that's the gel that needs to be rubbed in, but it's fine. But yeah, as you can tell, just crisscross, and then you put it into a cornrow. There's one row down. And the next one, we just do it again. See how I kind of follow the part line a little bit? I try my best to follow the part line. And then just grab a cornrow from there. And then you keep going down. So you just keep repeating that process of grabbing a row and making it as easier for you as possible by just following your fingers along your part and then making that part to make the cornrow. As you can tell, I did that first half side, just following along. As you can see, I followed decently along the path, and then just fast forwarding to the whole head. You see how I kind of wanted to keep the consistency of following along the parts, just so it was easier for me to part. And as you can tell, just, of course, it does not have to be neat. These are thick, messy cornrows. Like, they're all going to be covered. So that's the point of this style. It's so easy. And if you know how to cornrow, of course, you can do twists if you can't. And what I did here is I kind of separated all of the 8 or so cornrows in half. And I just did a little braid for each half so it's easier for me to separate. And you'll see what I do in a second. Just cornrow it down to keep it separated from the second path. So I did that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And essentially what I'm going to do is grab both of them and kind of cross them around each other so I can tuck them in to kind of give me like a really, really sleek look. Like, so it's flat, a very flat look. So you do that and then you just cross them, and that's when we bring the bobby pins in a little bit. So see how I'm about to just cross it over. So cross it over here and cross it over there. So essentially what I'm about to do is use the bobby pins, and then we cross it over, cross one side over, and then you see how I'm bobby pinning it into my head. There's lots of bobby pins in my head right now. Oh my goodness. There's just so many bobby pins. But you see how it makes it give that flat look? You just keep bobby pinning it in. There's no need to like sew it. You can sew your cornrows together if you want to, but I don't trust the needle in the back of my head and not seeing it. So just cornrowing, and there we go, flat look with all the bobby pins, and it makes it very flat so we can now install the crochet hair. So of course this is the free tress braid curl, I believe, but of course I'm going to link it in my bio, so don't even worry. and I got 6 packs for about $40. Hence, this is like a $40 style. Very quick, very easy, and very affordable in my opinion. Instead of going to like the hair salon, of course, taking a break sometimes when we need a budget is totally valid. And you don't have to, but here's a tutorial on how to actually crochet the hair into your head.
Push the crochet needle through my braid, attach the hair, pull both the needle and the hair through enough to create a small loop, and pull the hair through twice, known as double knotting.
And so I kept following that process throughout my whole head, double knotting it and just filling up the spaces. And I used a total of 6 packs. I wish I got 7 just to fill in more gaps, but it would have been even bigger. But 6 packs is what the packs came with, or that's the quantity it came with. So yeah, I just kept repeating the process over and over. And this is the final look. Very full, very cute. And this is one of the low maintenance hairstyles. So let me know what you guys think if you want to try it. And yeah, thank you for watching.